Hi, welcome again to the AFST Mumbai PowerTalk. I am Subhaprada Nishtala and I am here to discuss the differences between operational prerequisite programs and CCPs or critical control points. The ISO 22000 standard says that for all control measures which are in place to manage significant hazards, we take them through a 7-step assessment or control measure assessment and decide whether they go into an oPRP plan or a HACCP plan. All of us in the industry working with HACCP plans, FSMS plans know that this is the bane of our lives. How do you decide whether something belongs into an oPRP or a CCP? Yes, the 7 questions are there, but they are fairly generic in nature and do not normally lead us to a very direct answer. I will try and simplify the intent of these 7 questions and break it down into 2 basic parameters which help you understand whether a control measure should be used in an oPRP plan or should go into a HACCP plan. The first amongst these is of course the severity of impact of the hazard. If your hazard is at the final stages of your product realization and its impact is very high, then normally you would wish to put it into an HACCP plan so that the control mechanism is more direct with a greater degree of online measurement. The second difference that comes in to differentiate between oPRPs and CCPs is the suitability of the control measure to online monitoring. For example, if you take the control measure of having a magnet in place in a pipeline to prevent metal particles from going through, this is not a system which is amenable to online monitoring. It is also impacted by numerous other parameters such as the flow rate, the particle size and the basic structure of the food particle that is being measured. The same metal can be controlled by using a metal detector. A metal detector is amenable to an online measurement because it tells you immediately when there has been a reject. The way the 7 questions for control measure assessment have been structured, it leads you to decide if a control measure is amenable to online monitoring, you are more likely to put it into HACCP plan, whereas if it is not amenable to online monitoring, you are more likely to put it into an oPRP plan. How really does it matter whether you treat a control measure as an oPRP or a CCP? It really does not matter too much because the standard requires you to do the very same things for both of them with one difference. It needs you to monitor both oPRPs and CCPs. It needs you to record the results of monitoring of both. It needs you to have correction and corrective action pre-decided for both. It needs you to verify and validate both. The only difference is for CCPs there is a requirement of critical limit setting, for the simple reason that these are amenable to online monitoring and hence it is possible to set critical limits. Leaving you with this thought, when you take your control measures through the control measure assessment, please do not be bogged down by the generic questions that are stipulated there. The intent is largely to see which are those which are easy for you to do an online monitoring, put those into your HACCP plan, whereas those which are more structured as programs, and oPRP being prerequisite programs identified through the hazard analysis as per definition, those would tend to go into your oPRP plan. If you do mix them up, it really does not matter because the degree of control that you have really is identical if the requirements of the standard are met. Thank you.